धन्यवाद। Question hour. Question number 151, Sri Samik Bhattacharya.
Question number 151, sir.
Honorable Minister. Supplementary number 1, Sri Samik Bhattacharya.
Sir, my question regarding the setting up of the new medical colleges in the different districts of West Bengal. Sir, as you mentioned, that no proposal has been received from the state government for medical colleges in Dakshin Dinajpur, Alipurduar, Kalimpong and Paschim Bardhaman. So, if such proposals are submitted by the state government of West Bengal, will the government, central government, consider approving them within this financial year?
Honorable Minister.
Chairman, sir, through you, I would first like to submit that under the central sector scheme of establishment of new medical colleges attached with the district hospitals, under 3 phases in the 10 years of our government, we have established 157 colleges across the country. Out of these 157 colleges, sir, 11 medical colleges have been given to the state of West Bengal. It is a continuous process, sir, as in when the requirement or the need is felt, the central government looks into it. So, as of now, 157 colleges are completed, and West Bengal has also got a good share of it.
Second supplementary, Sri Samik Bhattacharya.
Sir, given aims that the initial proposed for Raiganj was shifted to Kollani due to ego politics, and the North Bengal had to suffer the consequences. Is the central government considering?
Honorable member, what is your supplementary?
Yes, this is my
Please
supplementary.
ask, one second. Please ask your supplementary.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
One second. Ask your supplementary.
Is the central government considering reviving the AIMS Raiganj project to establish a second AIMS in West Bengal?
Honorable
Aspiration states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir each have 2 AIMS. Will West Bengal be granted a similar opportunity to enhance its healthcare infrastructure, especially in North Bengal?
Honorable Minister.
Chairman, sir, we started a scheme, Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, under which we have increased the number of All India Institute of Medical Sciences across the country. 22 new AIMS have been approved, of which 19 are already operational, where we have started the MBBS, we have approved the MBBS seats. West Bengal also received 1 AIMS in Kalyani. As of now, there is no proposal under consideration for establishing another AIMS in the state of West Bengal.
Supplementary number 3, Sri Saket Gokhale. One second. Honorable Minister is intervening. Honorable Minister.
I would like to add that this PMSSY scheme for opening of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, it is a continuous process. And in continuous process, we keep considering accordingly. And as and when the situation comes, we open new institutes of All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And West Bengal also comes under that ambit.
Okay, good. Sri Saket Gokhale, supplementary number 3.
Thank you very much, sir. So through you, I wish to ask a very specific question to the Honorable Minister. Is it true that funds of over 828 crores have been withheld from the state of West Bengal under the National Health Mission, National Health Scheme, for the frivolous reason of not adhering to the color branding specified by the union government? If yes, please state and give an assurance as to when the pending dues of over 828 crores owed to West Bengal will be released by the ministry.
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister.
Although this question does not pertain to the original question which is there, but he has been very specific.
Yes.
About being answer yes or no.
Very pointed and decorously.
Yes or no. If you obey the guidelines, yes. If you do not obey the guidelines, no.
One second. Honorable members. One second. Your leader is speaking. Please, your leader is speaking. Can I give you supplementary number 4?
Sir, no.
Okay.
We always, when the leader of the house gets up to speak, we take that with all seriousness and always in good spirit.
Yes.
And I'm not here to get into a counter argument.
I am so glad because
The only simple point which my colleague was making, that yes, we will always comply. But our point was that complying with the color scheme while people are not getting the help, that's a bit over the top. Not for a color. For something else, we'll take it in the spirit. Just because it's not your favorite color, so people are left not to get the help. This can be reconsidered by a government with a little empathy. Thank you, sir.
Any intervention on this, sir? One second.
Now the question is not
One thing, sir.
No,
sir, one thing. The honorable senior member and leader of the party has paid you rich compliments. And secondly, raised the issue very pointedly, which as a matter of fact, Saket Gokhale also addressed. On that, if any intervention is there.
white.
One second.
Sir, the first question was in black and white. So the answer was in black and white. Now the question which has come.
It's a very good answer.
Now the question has come from my dear friend, Derek O'Brien ji.
Colorful.
And his hair is grey. So the answer will also be in grey, which has got some positivity also.
Good. Supplementary number 4, Susri Dola Sen.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. I want to know, through you from the Honorable Minister, that already in the answer, it has been written that the fund sharing mechanism between the union and state governments are 60-40 for these schemes. So my humble question is that, then why it will be only in the name of the Prime Minister? 60-40, so why not Prime Minister, Chief Minister, or union or state scheme will be adhered? And on that basis, if the Honorable Minister says to the point that if you follow the guideline, yes. If you don't follow, no. I'll ask humbly that whether the guideline in this respect, only in the name of Pradhan Mantri ji, with 60% share, and defying the right of the state, who is sharing is 40%, whether it's follow,
you have made your point.
Whether it is following the federal structure.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
Chairman, sir, through you, I would like to inform the honorable member. This is a scheme, as I mentioned earlier, for the establishment of new medical colleges attached with the district hospitals. It is important to understand why we brought this scheme. There were several unserved areas, sir, and regional disparities insofar as the availability of opportunities for medical education is concerned and tertiary healthcare facilities are concerned. We also wanted to be cost effective by utilizing the district hospitals and setting up these medical colleges. We devised a structure wherein there was a sharing of 60-40 between the center and the states. Wherever we have made these medical colleges, 157 medical colleges across the country, 11 in the state of West Bengal, in the districts Birbhum, Kuch Bihar, Diamond Harbour, Purulia, Raiganj, Barasat, Uluberia, Arambagh, Jhargam, Tampluk, Jalpaiguri, all these states, sir. Nowhere we have mentioned the name of the Prime Minister in front of the medical college. There is no question of naming. It is with the cooperation of the center and the states, 60-40. I say it on the floor of the House. We have built these medical colleges for the larger interest of the people of India.
Fifth supplementary, Dr. John Bitas.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I don't want a black and white or a grey answer. I want a crystal clear answer from the Honorable Health Minister. Sir, the Honorable Minister...
Dr. John Bitas, question hour is meant for specific questions and specific answers. We can monetize time.
Sir, why I refer is that many colors have been referred here, that's why. Sir, the Honorable Minister has been kind enough to say that 22 All India Institute of Medical Science have been approved so far. As you know, sir, you have visited Kerala also. Kerala is a model state in the sector of health. And we have been craving for the indulgence of the Honorable Minister to have an All India Institute of Medical Science. And Kerala government proposed a site in Kozhikode, and it has been hanging on for several years. I would specifically ask the Health Minister, will he approve the proposal to have a All India Institute of Medical Science in Kerala?
Honorable Minister.
The scheme says that from time to time we'll see to it that as far as possible we'll expand the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in various states. And Kerala is also one of them. So from time to time we are considering, and yes, under consideration, Kerala is also there.
Question number 152, Shri A.D. Singh. Honorable Minister. Supplementary number 1, Shri A.D. Singh.
I wish to know from the Minister that in the number of cyber frauds that took place in the last 2 years, how many of these frauds pertain to private sector banks and how many pertain to public sector banks? And also, what is the amount involved in e-frauds pertaining to private sector banks and e-frauds pertaining to public sector banks? Where the e-frauds pertaining to private sector banks are more in number than e-frauds pertaining to public sector banks? If so, what are the reasons and remedial steps taken in this regard?
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, जो उत्तर माननीय प्रश्न में था कि कितने फ्रॉड हुए हैं, उसका डाटा एक विवरण सभा पर रखा गया है। जहाँ तक ये सरकारी बैंकों का डाटा है, निजी क्षेत्र के डाटा उनको उपलब्ध करा दिया।
Supplementary number 2, Shri A.D. Singh.
With the view to preventing frauds, a robust security system is must in the banking sector, along with ensuring seamless customer experience. What steps the government is taking in this regard?
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, हमारी सरकार लगातार इस पे फोकस बनाई हुई है और देखें अगर कि बढ़ती हुई लेन देन की सुविधा को सुरक्षित करने के लिए सरकार की तरफ से तमाम प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं। फ्रॉड के प्रति सरकार का जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी है। सभी ग्राहकों को डाटा सुरक्षित रखा जाता है। सभी तरह के डिजिटल लेन देन में इसकी सूचना खाताधारक को मोबाइल पर भेजी जाती है। बिना ओटीपी के पैसा निकालना संभव नहीं होता है। ऑनलाइन लेन देन में डेली ट्रांजैक्शन को पूरा करने से 2 लेवल पर प्रमाणित की जरूरी होती है। कार्ड लेन देन में EMV चिप अनिवार्य कर दी गई है। इसके साथ RBI द्वारा ग्राहकों को जागरूक करने के लिए सभी माध्यमों से जागरूक कार्यक्रम चलाए जाते हैं। इन सब के बाद भी ग्राहकों को मुआवजा के लिए भी एक मजबूत तंत्र बनाया गया है। सरकार लगातार इस पर प्रयास कर रही है।
सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 3, श्री रणदीप सिंह सुरजेवाला।
शुक्रिया सभापति जी। State Bank of India and other PSU banks, sir, recovered 8,500 crores from those who have less than minimum balance in their bank accounts. Will the minister be kind enough to tell what steps will the government take to stop this virtual extortion by public sector banks from the common man of this country?
Honorable Minister.
First of all, this is not related to this question which has been asked. But since the Honorable Member is talking about banks collecting money for basic minimum balance which is not there in the account, that doesn't apply to PM Jan Dhan accounts and the basic accounts of the poor people. It is only for others whose minimum balance is expected to be a certain level. That is already a very clear statement which we have said in several occasions. I'm happy to say it even now.
Supplementary number 4, Shrimati Sulata Dev.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman sir, for giving the opportunities. सर, मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री महोदया से ये जानना चाहती हूँ, क्या उनको पता है जो क्रेडिट कार्ड सारे बैंक का बाहर में मिलता है, मार्केट में भी कहीं कहीं पर मॉल्स के सामने और बैंक के सामने भी मिलता है, और वो जो क्रेडिट कार्ड वाले वहाँ पर बैठते हैं, इतना उनको काउंसलिंग करके क्रेडिट कार्ड दे देते हैं लोगों को, और यूज़ हो या ना हो फिर उस क्रेडिट कार्ड से सर्विस चार्जेस कटता है, और बाद में जब लौटाने जाने के लिए लोग जाते हैं तो वो उसको एक्सेप्ट भी नहीं करते। बहुत सारी मुश्किलें आ रही हैं। ये मुश्किल मैं खुद फेस कर चुकी हूँ और बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो फेस कर रहे हैं। उनके लिए कुछ है कि नहीं, क्योंकि वो लोग SBI का क्रेडिट कार्ड भी दे रहे हैं और नेशनलाइज बैंक का भी सभी जगह पे दे रहे हैं। उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए माननीय मंत्री जी के सामने मैं ये रख रही हूँ कि उनके कंट्रोल करने के लिए कोई मैकेनिज्म है कि नहीं। थैंक यू।
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर,
मैंने पहले भी बताया कि RBI द्वारा तमाम प्रकार की सूचनाएं समय समय पर ग्राहकों को दिया जाता है और उनको अवेयर किया जाता है।
सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 5, श्री राघव चड्डा।
थैंक यू सर। सर, डिजिटली इनसिक्योर इंडिविजुअल्स साइबर अटैक्स के टारगेट्स बनते जा रहे हैं, और वर्ष 2023 में भारत देश में 79 मिलियन साइबर अटैक्स हुए, और एक रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक थ्रेट लैब्स 2024 की फिशिंग रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक साइबर अटैक्स के मामले में भारत देश तीसरे स्थान पर आया। मेरा सर आपके माध्यम से सरकार से सवाल रहेगा कि इन साइबर अटैक्स के चलते बहुत ज़्यादा फाइनेंशियल लॉसेस भी उपभोक्ताओं को भोगने पड़ रहे हैं। जनवरी से लेकर अप्रैल इसी साल वर्ष 2024 में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स की अपनी रिपोर्ट ये बताती है कि 1750 करोड़ के लॉसेस उपभोक्ताओं को भोगने पड़े जनवरी से लेकर अप्रैल 2024 तक। तो आपके माध्यम से मैं सरकार से पूछना चाहूँगा, क्या फाइनेंशियली कॉम्पनसेट करने के लिए इन लॉसेस को कोई योजना बनाई जा रही है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे साइबर अटैक्स के चलते लोगों को आर्थिक नुकसान हो रहा है।
माननीय मंत्री जी।
सभापति महोदय, भारतीय साइबर अपराध समन्वय केंद्र में I4C की स्थापना की गई है। I4C से फाइनेंशियल साइबर फ्रॉड रिपोर्टिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम में FCFRMS पोर्टल पर प्रचालक अप्रैल 2021 में आरंभ किया गया। धोखाधड़ी को रियल टाइम में रोकने के लिए NPCI के साथ जोड़ा गया। जुलाई 2024 से 7.6 लाख से अधिक शिकायतों में 2400 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक राशि की बचत की गई। टोल फ्री नंबर 1930 को अप्रैल 2020 में आरंभ किया गया। इस प्रकार से सरकार तमाम ऐसे प्रचार प्रसार कर रही है। दूरसंचार विभाग से ने जून 2024 में 1.92 करोड़ मोबाइल कनेक्शन को भी डिस्कनेक्ट किया और 2.9 लाख मोबाइलों को हेडसेट से भी ब्लॉक किया। लगातार सरकार इस पर ध्यान दे रही है।
क्वेश्चन नंबर 153, श्री विक्रमजीत सिंह सानी। ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर।
Question 1.
Oh, sir.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Issue of compensation, have they been given? As regards cyber crimes, it's one thing, sir, but those specific to financial institutions, particularly the public sector banks, I like to say yes, compensation has been paid in each of the bank's cases. I can just randomly list out that Bank of Baroda, for instance, in the year 23-24, for about 377.
One second. Mr. Shakti Singh Goyal. Mr.
Yes,
Shakti
therefore I am
Singh, Mr. Shakti,
reiterating.
give up this a bit. We are having good question hour. Members are asking good supplementaries. Let the minister reply. As a matter of fact, she has volunteered to reply. Madam,
sir,
I'm sorry. I did not look this side when you wanted to intervene. Normally, I'm looking on the left side. Normally, I look left side.
No, I respect Honorable Shakti Singh Goyal ji to say it's already given an answer. Honorable member, despite that, is asking me a question. So I'll have to read it out.
Thank you, ma'am. Question number 153, Shri Vikramjit Singh Sani.
Question 153.
Honorable Minister.
It is laid on the table of the House.
First supplementary, Shri Vikramjit Singh Sani.
Honorable Chairman, a survey conducted by IIT Delhi have brought out that scheme have not reached the last mile. The survey was conducted in 3 states, Punjab, Haryana, UP. Punjab is the worst performing state under this new merged scheme. So only 43% of beneficiaries received this entitlement of 35 and 5 kg. In addition, sir, the average purchase was also 29.64 kilograms. This shows many card holders did not receive the full entitled amount. So my question is how you want to ensure that the actual beneficiaries, especially landless households, are identified and get the true benefits of this scheme, as there has been no census also during last 12 years. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, this is the largest ever food security program of the world, sir. Total देश में 495 lakh metric ton is distributed every year. And we are spending, last year, that is 23-24, we have spent more than 2.11 lakh crores, and this year it is estimated that 2.05 lakh crores will be spent. And implementation is from the state. However, the coverage about what he is asking, that is decided by 2000, basis on the 2011 census, and Section 9 of NFSA says that any revision in the coverage would only be possible after the population estimates of the next census are published. This is the Act which was passed in 2019. And then, sir, this is as per the Section 9 of the NFSA Act. This is decided by then Planning Commission. Since no further data is available, at present, we are distributing in a big way, that is largest food security coverage in the entire world. And in Punjab also, we have subsidy to the tune of 2,064 crores in 2023-24, and till July 2024, 661.26 crore has been spent. So I think whatever, if at all revision has to be done, it will be done as soon as data is made available. Second point, the main issue is whom to be covered. Guidelines are issued, of course, but the implementation agencies are the state.
Supplementary number 2, Shri Vikramjit Singh Sani.
सेंसस 2011 का है, तो इसलिए हमें स्टेट्स के साथ मिलकर कुछ समाधान करना होगा कि 13 साल पुराना डाटा तो लैंडलेस फार्मर्स. सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री सर, पहले इसमें फ्री राशन और सब्सिडाइज्ड राशन में 3 महीने और 4 महीने पल्सेस और चना भी बटे, फिर वो डिसकंटिन्यू हो गए. अब ये 34 स्टेट्स में खाली 9 स्टेट्स में ही जो आपका डाटा है कोर्स ग्रेन्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो रहे हैं. तो व्हाई नॉट पीडीएस सिस्टम इज बीइंग लोकलाइज्ड एज प्रोडक्शन एंड कंजम्पशन पैटर्न्स इन एवरी स्टेट इज डिफरेंट, एंड इट विल आल्सो सपोर्ट क्रॉप डाइवर्सिफिकेशन. तो मिलेट्स और पल्सेस और चना वो भी इसमें क्यों इंक्लूड नहीं किए जा रहे और खाली 8-9 स्टेट्स में बांटे गए? धन्यवाद.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, NFSA provides rice, wheat and chorus grain. And apart from that, if any states want to distribute other than this, the states are allowed, they have to inform the center, and we are distributing only wheat, rice and millets. And if other than wheat and rice, if some states wants to distribute millets, then it is up to the state government. They have to write it to us and they have to procure. And if we have the stock of the millet, then we are very happy to send it to the state.
Supplementary number 3, Shri Jairam Ramesh.
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I am very glad that the Honorable Minister has finally accepted and acknowledged in Part D of his answer that the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana is based on the National Food Security Act of 2013. Sir, my question is very straight. The National Food Security Act of 2013, on which the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana is based, is founded on the 2011 census. The last census was due in 2021. As a result of not conducting the census, almost 10 crore Indians have been denied the benefit under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. My question is, when will the government conduct the 2021 census? It is already in 2024.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, one thing is very important. NFSA, National Food Security Act was passed, but जाते-जाते करके गया है. कोई रूल नहीं बनाया था और 2 रुपीस 3 रुपीस ऐसा कुछ रख के गए थे. लेकिन ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का बड़ापन है. प्रधानमंत्री जी पहले 8 कंपोनेंट पे, शुरुआत में कोविड में पहले 7 महीने, बाद में 8 महीने, ऐसे करते करते देन फ्रॉम 24 January we have totally extended up to 5 years, full free of cost, sir, full free of cost. As I have earlier said, मैंने पहले जैसे बताया, this is the largest ever food security scheme, sir. Number 2, as on date, sir, 67% of the population on an average, it is covered, sir. If at all still there is a need, we will assess it. But Congress should introspect. After ruling the country and the state for 60 years, if more than 67% are the poor, then you will be held responsible for that. Whatever we are doing, हमने जो किया है, गत 10 साल से, according to the World Bank, and there are 13 crore people have come above the poverty line. And second thing, according to the Niti Aayog, 25 crore people have come out of the poverty. This is the statistics which is available in the public domain. And actually poverty is now less than 1%. Extreme poverty is less than 1% now. In spite of that, we are open. But why census was not conducted, everybody knows that, especially COVID and some other reasons. And government is quite open. But ultimately, it is the state subject. State has to decide. In all respect, we are supporting it.
Supplementary number 4, Dr. K. Lakshman. Dr. K. Lakshman.
Sir, at the outset, I would like to thank our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for extending this free ration to almost 80 crore people in the country, and moreover, extending for coming 5 more years. I really thank on behalf of the members of this House, sir. I would like to know through you, sir, from Minister, is there any proposal by the government to extend this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, to the physically challenged? Our beloved Prime Minister has given a name called Divyangans to be the beneficiaries of this scheme, sir.
Honorable Minister, a very pointed question.
Sir, it is already covered. It is already covered as far as either in priority householding or AAY, it is covered, sir.
Supplementary number 5, Dr. Fozia Khan.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution recently answered that the number of posts lying vacant under the ministry, agencies and autonomous bodies is 17,625. What is the reason behind this? Why has there been no re-employment from at least retired forces? And considering the grave situation of unemployment in our country, why is the ministry not commencing the recruitment?
Honorable Minister.
pertain to this. This is regarding the food security scheme and particularly related to Punjab, sir. And I will verify and try to send the information to her.
At the earliest?
Yeah.
Within a month?
Yes, sir. Whatever direction.
As far as possible?
Yes, sir.
When I was a junior parliamentary affairs minister, we always made it a point, make it as non-specific as possible. We'll do it at the earliest, as far as possible. मैं तो आपको फॉलो कर रहा हूं सर. क्वेश्चन नंबर 154, डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मित्तल. Honorable Minister.
of the House.
Supplementary number 1, Dr. Ashok Kumar Mittal.
धन्यवाद महोदय, आपने मुझे प्रश्न पूछने के लिए अवसर दिया. सिकल सेल एनीमिया बीमारी की ना तो कोई वैक्सीनेशन है, ना कोई प्रिवेंटिव इलाज है और ना ही कोई कारगर इलाज है. सरकार ने बजट में घोषणा की है कि हम 2047 तक सिकल सेल बीमारी को भारत से खत्म कर देंगे. सर, 2047 वर्ष है भारत को विकसित भारत बनाने का भी. जब तक देश हमारा विकसित भारत नहीं बनेगा, क्या हम इस बीमारी से लाखों ट्राइबल बच्चों की जान को जाने देंगे, जबकि हमारे माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी भी ट्राइबल एरिया से आती हैं. मेरा मंत्री जी से प्रश्न है कि जब हम कोरोना बीमारी को 2 वर्ष में खत्म कर सकते हैं, तो सिकल सेल बीमारी को खत्म करने के लिए इतना लंबा 23 वर्ष की समय क्यों ले रहे हैं?
माननीय मंत्री जी.
चेयरमैन सर, सिकल सेल एनीमिया के बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा इस डिजीज के बारे में भी बताना चाहती हूँ सर. ये एक इनहेरिटेड रेड ब्लड सेल्स डिसऑर्डर है, जिसमें जीन के म्यूटेशन के कारण एटिपिकल हीमोग्लोबिन बनता है और उसके कारण जो हमारे आरबीसीज होते हैं वो सिकल शेप्ड हो जाते हैं. दे लूज देयर नॉर्मल शेप. दैट्स व्हेन दे बिकम स्टिकी, दे क्लॉग द ब्लड वेसल्स एंड ब्लॉक द ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई. India has the largest tribal population, sir, 8.6% of our population, which is approximately translating to 7 crores. ये बीमारी ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन में ही वाइड स्प्रेड है. हालांकि अब माइग्रेशन के चलते नॉन ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स में भी सीमित रूप में दिखने लगी है. हमारी सरकार ने ये संकल्प लिया कि हम 2047 तक सिकल सेल एनीमिया को खत्म करेंगे और अपने ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन जो 7 करोड़ लोग हैं, उनके जीवन के महत्व को समझते हुए हमने इसे 2023 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने शेड्यूल मध्य प्रदेश से लॉन्च किया. 7 करोड़ की जो हमारी आबादी है सर, उसकी स्क्रीनिंग हम कर रहे हैं और स्क्रीनिंग करने के बाद हमने 7 करोड़ का जो टारगेट लिया, जो स्टेट्स के साथ मिलकर हम स्क्रीनिंग को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं, इसमें 3 करोड़ 85 लाख से ज़्यादा की स्क्रीनिंग हम कर चुके हैं. इसमें हमारे 1,55,458 कंफर्म्ड सिकल सेल डिजीज के केसेस आए हैं और 10 लाख से ऊपर सिकल सेल ट्रेट्स वाले आए हैं. इनके ट्रीटमेंट के लिए हमने पूरी एक योजना स्टेट्स के साथ मिलकर तैयार की है सर. स्टेट्स स्क्रीनिंग करने के बाद जितने भी लोग स्क्रीन किए होते हैं, उनके सिकल सेल कार्ड्स बनाए जाते हैं और उसके बाद उन कार्ड्स के बेसिस पे जो स्टेटस है, या वो कैरियर है, या वो सिकल सेल डिजीज्ड है, या वो नॉर्मल है, हम उनको काउंसलिंग सर्विसेज देते हैं लाइफस्टाइल मैनेजमेंट पे, क्योंकि ये एक परमानेंट क्योर अभी इसका नहीं है. हालांकि इसके एडवांस ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शंस पर भी रिसर्च हम कर रहे हैं और इसके साथ साथ हम जो ज़रूरी ड्रग्स है, हाइड्रोक्सी यूरिया, वो ड्रग भी हमने अवेलेबल कर रखी है हमारे सब सेंटर्स से लेकर पीएचसी, सीएचसी, डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल्स पर. तो ये जो ड्रग है, वी इनिशिएट द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ दिस पेशेंट्स, वी पुट देम ऑन हाइड्रोक्सी यूरिया, काउंसलिंग के साथ ड्रग्स और तमाम लाइफस्टाइल मैनेजमेंट के जो अन्य तरीके हैं, योगा, फॉलो अप, ये सब कुछ हम करते हैं ताकि हम उनके जीवन को बचा सकें.
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री, डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मित्तल.
जो आपने ये कहा, ये सारा जवाब में था. उसके बाद मेरा प्रश्न, हम इतना ज्यादा समय क्यों ले रहे हैं 23 वर्ष इस बीमारी को एलिमिनेट करने के?
डॉक्टर साहब,
सर दूसरा क्वेश्चन.
डॉक्टर साहब
जी,
मैं इस दिवस के ऊपर मध्य प्रदेश गया था।
जी जी
आपकी चिंता है कि इतनी साल क्यों लग रही हैं?
जी
इसमें कितनी काउंसलिंग करनी पड़ती है? शादी कैसे न हो, शादी गलती से यदि हो जाए तो कंसेप्शन हो, ये बहुत जो हो रहा है ये युद्ध स्तर पर हो रहा है। मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से कहूँगा कि इस विषय पर यदि अगर एक पेपर सर्कुलेट करेंगे तो जानकारी होगी कि समय लगना इसमें अनअवॉइडेबल है। इट हैज़ टू, वरना एक ने कर लिया, शादी कर ली, फिर मामला होता जाता आगे। दो एक कैटेगरी के लोग आपस में नहीं करें। माननीय मंत्री जी नोज मोर अबाउट इट। पर मैं उस कार्यक्रम में पूरे आधे दिन रहा और लोगों से चर्चा की और व्यापक स्तर पर की। प्रधानमंत्री जी पिछले साल गए थे, इस साल मैं गया था वहाँ नज़दीकी के जिले में। माननीय मंत्री जी
मेरा क्वेश्चन
नहीं, अभी इस पर कह रहे हैं, then you'll get supplementary. You'll get supplementary. At my persuasion, the honorable minister.
जी, जैसा माननीय मंत्री जी ने विस्तृत जवाब दिया है और आपने भी उस पर प्रकाश डाला है, जो समय अवधि की बात आप कह रहे हैं, सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि ये जेनेटिकल डिसऑर्डर के कारण होता है। दूसरी बात, जिसे हो जाता है उसे लाइफ लॉन्ग रहता है, तो जब तक वो उसकी आयु है तब तक वो जीवन भर इसके साथ रहता है। इसलिए हम कहते हैं हम एलिमिनेट कर देंगे, यानी हमें उसका पूरा जीवन तो जीना है तो उसको तो देखना ही पड़ेगा। तीसरी बात है कि ऐसे शख्स, महिला या पुरुष, इसका विवाह किसी सिकल सेल वाले के साथ न हो, अन्यथा यह आगे भी प्रोपोगेट होगा। तो ये अवेयरनेस करने का भी प्रोग्राम है। सबसे पहली बात तो स्क्रीनिंग। अब स्क्रीनिंग में एक बहुत एम्बिशियस प्लान लिया है कि हम 7 करोड़ लोगों को स्क्रीन करेंगे और 7 करोड़ में से 3 करोड़ 85 लाख लोगों का स्क्रीनिंग हो चुका है और 1 लाख समथिंग से ज़्यादा लोग को कार्ड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो गए। दूसरा, इसके लिए फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए सेंटर्स चाहिए। अब इस फैसिलिटी को हम लोगों ने आरोग्य मंदिर तक पहुंचा दिया है, यानी सब सेंटर लेवल तक पहुंचा दिया है, वेयर वी कैन गेट फैसिलिटी ऑफ स्क्रीनिंग, where we get the facility of medication and where we get the facility of counseling. तो इस तरीके से अवेयरनेस लाना बहुत आवश्यक है और अवेयरनेस आने से ही हम इस पर रोकथाम कर सकेंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि दिस इज द ओनली वे, एंड इफ दिस इज द ओनली वे, दिस इज द शॉर्टेस्ट वे।
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री, डॉक्टर अशोक कुमार मित्तल।
सर, जिस प्रकार कोरोना एक महामारी थी, वैसे ही सिकल सेल डिसीज भी आदिवासी बच्चों के लिए महामारी है और 5 वर्ष से कम बच्चे इसकी ज़्यादा अफेक्ट होते हैं। सर, हमारे देश में 1.5 लाख से 2 लाख बच्चे सिकल सेल डिसीज से पैदा होते हैं और क्योंकि इसका कोई परमानेंट ट्रीटमेंट नहीं है, इसमें ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन की ज़रूरत रहती है और स्टेम सेल ट्रीटमेंट इसका उपाय है, जैसे मंत्री जी ने भी बताया। सर, मेरा प्रश्न है कि जब 70% पेशेंट्स को डोनर नहीं मिल पाते तो ब्लड बैंक्स और ट्रांसफ्यूजन की लिमिटेड अवेलेबिलिटी के कारण और ट्राइबल्स की सोशो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन को देखते हुए सरकार ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन और ब्लड बैंक्स की अवेलेबिलिटी बढ़ाने के लिए क्या कारगर उपाय कर रही है?
माननीय मंत्री जी।
सर, थोड़ा सा मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि माननीय सदस्य सिकल सेल और दूसरा डिसऑर्डर होता है जिसमें बोन मैरो में I forgot the name of थैलेसीमिया में जो आरबीसीज हैं उनका बनना बंद हो जाता है, उसके लिए ट्रांसफ्यूजन की ज़रूरत होती है। वो एक अलग प्रश्न है। दिस इज़ रिलेटेड टू सिकल सेल वेयर द हीमोग्लोबिन डिसऑर्डर हो जाता है और हीमोग्लोबिन डिसऑर्डर होने के कारण उसकी परफॉर्मेंस पर और उसके जीवन पर और उसको लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग हो जाता है, जिसको सारी ज़िंदगी दवा दे करके एक नॉर्मल ज़िंदगी जीने का हम व्यवस्था कर सकते हैं। और इसलिए इस प्रोग्राम के तहत ऐसे महानुभावों को ढूंढना जो इस बीमारी से ग्रसित हैं, उनकी दवाई का व्यवस्था करना, मुफ्त दवाई की व्यवस्था करना, जीवन भर व्यवस्था करना और आगे वो किसी और को ट्रांसमिट न करे, इसकी व्यवस्था करना, यही हम इस पे कर रहे हैं।
सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 4 नहीं, सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 3, डॉक्टर कानी मौजी NVN सोमो।
Thank you, Chairman, sir. So lots of people in our country are prone to take over the painkillers from the counter to combat the pain during the disorders, including the sickle cell disease. This is a big problem, sir. It is a big issue also. The government should stop it and take some measures. I would like to know from the Honorable Minister through you, sir, whether the government has plans to provide free distribution of appropriate medicines to those suffering from sickle cell disease. If so, the total amount allocated for the free supply of medicines. Sir has already mentioned there is an allocation of fund for them, but is it going to be given free or it is only going to be a financial support given by them? I would like to know through you, sir.
Honorable Minister.
So वैसे तो मैंने पहले स्पष्ट कर दिया था. ये I would like to repeat, sir. We provide support to the states for the testing kits, for screening, for the issue of the sickle cell disease cards, as well as for the ensuring the availability of the basic drugs, which is hydroxyurea, also prophylactic, penicillin and vaccinations. अभी तक जो हमने SCD के patients identify किए सर, confirmed cases वो 1,55,458 हैं. इसमें से हम 62,188 SCD patients को, as informed by the states, they have been put on hydroxyurea treatment. Under NHM, sir, we have a component for the management of hemoglobinopathies, thalassemia and sickle cell disease. Under NHM, we provide financial support for all the things I have mentioned before. And for the financial year 2024-25, sir, rupees 231.22 crores has already been dispersed to the states, and free medication is being provided at all levels of health facility, Ayushman Arogya Mandir, PHC, CHC, as well as the district hospitals. Under NHM, we also support the establishment of the Integrated Center for Hemoglobinopathies and Hemophilia in the district hospitals, and the other things that I have said, sir, for the procurement of the testing kits, SCD cards, and the availability of basic drugs.
Supplementary number 4, Dr. Sumer Singh Solanki.
धन्यवाद माननीय सभापति महोदय. नर्मदे हर देश के हमारे करोड़ों आदिवासी भाइयों और बहनों के लिए प्रश्न बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है माननीय सभापति महोदय. देश के अंदर 7 करोड़ हमारे आदिवासी भाइयों और बहनों को स्क्रीनिंग करने का जो लक्ष्य रखा गया है, उसमें से 3 करोड़ 85 लाख भाइयों और बहनों का जो परीक्षण किया गया है, उसके लिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का और माननीय मंत्री जी का मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं. माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय मंत्री जी से ये जानना चाहता हूं कि जो जनजाति या आदिवासी बंधु सिकल सेल एनीमिया से रोग से ग्रस्त पाए गए हैं, उनकी सुविधा के लिए सरकार कौन-कौन से उपाय कर रही है?
माननीय मंत्री जी, मैंने पहले कहा था एक ऐसा कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नोट सर्कुलेट कराइए.
सर, वैसे तो मैं सारी बातें बता चुकी हूँ, बट आई कैन रिपीट. देश में ट्राइबल आबादी में सिकल सेल डिजीज पाई जाती है सर. उसके मैनेजमेंट के लिए सबसे पहला कदम है स्क्रीनिंग करना. 7 करोड़ लोगों के स्क्रीनिंग का हमने लक्ष्य बनाया है. 3 करोड़ 85 लाख से ज़्यादा की स्क्रीनिंग हम कर चुके हैं. 1,55,000 से अधिक कंफर्म्ड सिकल सेल डिजीज पेशेंट्स पाए गए हैं. 1 करोड़ 29 लाख से अधिक सिकल सेल कार्ड्स हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर चुके हैं. ये कार्ड्स किसी भी व्यक्ति का स्टेटस बताते हैं, वो कैरियर है, वो डिजीज्ड है या वो नॉर्मल है. इसके कार्ड के स्टेटस के हिसाब से अगर वो डिजीज्ड है तो हम उसे ट्रीटमेंट पे डालते हैं. ट्रीटमेंट के कई पक्ष हैं सर. उसे ड्रग्स देने के साथ साथ उसके पूरे लाइफस्टाइल मैनेजमेंट के बारे में उसे समझाना, योगा के महत्व के बारे में समझाना, प्री मैरिटल और प्री कंसेप्शनल काउंसलिंग करना, जैसे माननीय मंत्री जी ने समझाया कि कार्ड्स की हम मैचिंग करते हैं टू सी दैट प्रोस्पेक्टिव जो कपल हैं उनके जो चाइल्ड हु कैन बी बॉर्न, उसकी क्या पॉसिबिलिटी है ऑफ कैरिंग अ ट्रेट और बीइंग बॉर्न विद अ डिजीज. तो ये सारे प्रयास हम इन केसेस के मैनेजमेंट के लिए करते हैं और अभी हमें इसे लाइफ लॉन्ग चलाना पड़ता है और रेगुलर काउंसलिंग और फॉलोअप करते हैं. पेशेंट को हम हर स्थिति में उसकी देखरेख करते हैं.
5th supplementary, श्रीमती मौसम नूर.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Sir, through you, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister
that is it true that there is a shortage of the drug hydroxyurea, which is used in treatment of sickle cell anemia at primary healthcare centers across India? If yes, please state the specific steps being taken by the government to ensure adequate stocks of hydroxyurea at healthcare centers across various states. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
No such information has been received from any states. In case there is any specific complaint of a place or a state that the honourable member has, she can give it to me in writing. We will get it examined. But there is no shortage of the drugs at the subcenter, PHC, CHC or the district hospital level. We have supported the states. 231.22 crores we have given towards the availability of drugs along with the testing screening kits and the SCD cards. And 62,188 patients, as reported by the states, have been put on hydroxyurea treatment.
Question number 155, Shri Ajit Kumar Bhuyan.
Question number 155.
Honorable Minister.
Answer is laid on the table.
Supplementary number 1, Shri Ajit Kumar Bhuyan.
My first supplementary is whether the minister can assure us that the navigational clearance maintained in Bharolamukha North Guwahati Bridge is sufficient enough for over-dimensional cargo to pass through, and if not, is there any lapses for not maintaining adequate navigational clearance, and what action or remedial measures are available with the ministry now?
Honorable Minister.
I'm giving you the answer through you, that there is no any problem in that place. I mean, all is clear by our IWI authority. So this is the answer.
Second supplementary, Shri Ajit Kumar Bhuyan.
Second supplementary, in the national waterways, how many meters for navigational clearance is mandatory between the highest flood level and the bridge? And are there any SOP to take care of the national waterways in this regard, and whether it was followed properly?
Honorable Minister.
Respected Chairman, Sir. This is a very, very important question, and particularly when we are to issue no objection certificate to any agency, whoever is seeking permission from us for construction of bridge over any national waterways in the country. Under these circumstances, we are to go through the studying procedure. We have classified the inland waterways in many categories, 1 to 7. In one category, the horizontal clearance from one pillar to the another pillar, minimum 30 meters is required, and vertical clearance is 4 meters. Likewise, in River Brahmaputra comes under category 7, class 7. So it requires 100 meters from one piers to the other piers, and that is horizontal clearance. And other parts, vertical is 10 meters. So this is the studying procedure. Accordingly, we follow it strictly. Thank you, sir.
Supplementary number 3, Susri Susmita Dev.
Thank you, sir. So national waterways is an extremely important mode of transportation because actually it is much cheaper than railways and airways. I would like to ask the Honourable Minister through you that way back in 2016, a National Waterways Act was passed and 111 rivers were involved in it and declared as national waterways. Barak River in Assam was one of those rivers, sir. So we can send goods and bring goods from our neighboring countries, one of which is Bangladesh. I want the Honourable Minister to answer whether the national waterways of Barak River is functional? Because my information is despite the infrastructure built there, sir, steamers are not running there. What is the reason for it?
Honorable Minister.
Respected Chairman, sir, in reply to the questions to Honorable Member, Borak River is one of the most important international rivers. So this river is also a golden opportunity for the people of Northeast, particularly close to Borak rivers. The adjacent states are Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, etc., etc. And through Borak River, we can connect the Bay of Bengal through the Bangladesh Protocol route. So now, to make it navigationally feasible, and we are also planning to make the dredging with a principle of assured draft, so that whole the year, the seamless movement of cargo vessel can be made possible to Bangladesh and the rest part of the country. So accordingly, we have developed Patakandi and also the Karimganj, the two terminals so far, and planning to dredge the river according to the requirement of the cargo vessel seamless movement. Thank you.
Supplementary 4, Sri Milind Devda.
Sir, thank you. Sir, in addition to the point that the inland waterways or rivers are the most economical mode of transport, they are also the most environmentally friendly mode of transport as compared to roads and railways. So in the last decade, a lot of our cargo has moved onto the rivers and waterways. In fact, from 6.89 million metric tons 10 years ago, 133 million metric tons are being moved through the waterways, which is a very good initiative. But what is important for us to also measure is what is the percentage of our overall transportation mix that the waterways constitutes. So I had the good fortune of being a MOS in this ministry. 10 years ago at the time, only 1% of our cargo was moving through waterways. Today that percentage is 2%. Some countries in Europe, for example, Holland, over 50% of their cargo is moved through the rivers, which makes it very environmentally friendly and economical. My only suggestion, rather than a question, to the Honorable Minister would be, it's very, very critical to enhance the coordination with the state governments, because ultimately, sir, it's very, sir, my limited suggestion, it's very important to work, increase the coordination with the state governments, because if they don't build roads, they will automatically divert their cargo, especially in grains, fertilizers, to these waterways and make them more feasible. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, the supplementary is how you will act to optimally exploit the potential of waterways and reach a higher level. Honorable Minister, the chair has a right to ask. Yeah, that's right. Your point is well taken, therefore I'm asking. The suggestion is well taken.
Respected Chairman, Chair.
This is old friendship.
Respected Chairman, Chair.
Honorable Minister. Nothing is going on record.
Respected Chairman, Chair. Today, I am happy that most of the honorable members showing their keenness and interest to discuss about the waterways, national waterways. For your information, up to 2014, there are only 5 national waterways. And the availability of the resources, I believe the earlier government, I'm not criticizing you, but I'm just narrating the fact of happening, whatever like it was there during that time. So up to 2014, there are only 5 national waterways. Out of 5, only 3 were operational. So, but Honorable Prime Minister, after going through detailed study and research, have directed to this ministry that we should enact a new legislation, and with this, we should take the suggestion of the state government and going through the techno-economic feasibility report. Ultimately, there was an addition of 106 number of waters and got the recognition as national waterways. Altogether, it went to 111 now. Because of this transformational initiative of the Honorable Prime Minister, now look at the figure, which is very exciting for all of us. To reduce the logistic costs, I think this mode of transportation is the most feasible one. Globally, it is all been accepted. And during the period of 13-14, the total cargo annual transportation was 18.07 million metric ton, 2013-14. Now look at the figure, it is now 133 million ton, 23-24. This is the success story. And this how proves that transformation ultimately created the ecosystem and ultimately inspired the people of all kinds so that they could take part in the growth of national economy and contribute remarkably. And this is the 6th-time growth. Let me tell you, Honorable Finance Minister is sitting with us, very dynamic Finance Minister. So, for your information, in 2008-9, the total expenditure during their time, only 98 crores. Total 98 crores. But in our time, it went up to 1,110 crores. 10 times more. That created the infrastructure. Jetties, terminals, cargo vessel, passenger vessel, cruise vessel, all kind of vessels started moving because of the ecosystem. That is the kind of environment created because of the dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister. I'm really thankful to all of you, whoever have shown their keenness to take part in this, and I believe we should all inspire the young generation to study the available resources in the water system in the country. And I believe in our rivers, this is the ecosystem we have got naturally, and ultimately we have to simply, by putting our best possible effort and better technology, better wisdom, we have to create that ecosystem so that in the near future, India can become the most leading maritime nation in the world. Thank you.
So the Honorable Member Milind Devda asked thought-provoking, suggestive supplementary. Shri Birendra Prasad Bese, supplementary number 5.
The mighty Brahmaputra, so through you, I want to know from the Honorable Waterways Minister, your ministry have took any step.
Supplementary, sir.
Yes, for development. I am coming to the real supplementary, sir. For infrastructure development, long national highway of Assam to promote and enhance river tourism in India.
Honorable Minister.
Respected Chairman, sir, as you know, like in the recent past, there was MB Ganga Vilas, which cruise ultimately created history because the MB Ganga Vilas, that is a river cruise, which has started its voyage from Banaras to Dibrugarh, crossing more than 27 river systems and 3,200 kilometers. So this created history because earlier this was never happened. And people had an apprehension. They thought that Ganga में पानी नहीं है, जहाज फंस जाएगा. ब्रह्मपुत्र में पानी नहीं है, ये क्रूज नहीं चल सकती. ऐसे लोगों ने टिप्पणी भी की, आलोचना भी की, और आखिर में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो निर्देश दी कि ऐसे हमें माहौल खड़ा करनी होंगे ताकि हमारी नदी पे जो शक्ति है और हमारे नदी के दोनों पार में हमारे सांस्कृतिक जो धारा है, हमारे सभ्यता संस्कृति के जो मूल्य है, इन चीज़ों को दुनिया देखे, दुनिया भारत को आविष्कार करे। उसी हिसाब से जब इन चीज़ों को ध्यानपूर्वक ली गई है, अल्टीमेटली रिवर क्रूज एमवी गंगा विलास ने ऐसा माहौल खड़ा किया, अब देश के अंदर 1 का बदले 9 क्रूज चलने लगा है।
Further discussion